morning to you. We are definitely live, coming with the morning trend. And of course, it comes to you compliments Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. We have a very, 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 very special guest in the building, all the way from Canada. Give it up for D Bandit. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. How is it in Canada? Are you freezing? Is it snowing? I know it was snowing sometime last week.
Yeah, no, it's not snowing right now.
It's not snowing. Okay, cool.
No, it's good.
Even though it's not snowing, it's still cold.
So why master upside down?
No, he's fine on our end.
Oh, it's just my end?
Yeah, you might. I think you just because you're living on the other side of the world. Things may seem upside down for you, you know what I mean? But it's all good here.
That is interesting.
Now, D Bandit, I feel like we need to get a little bit acquainted with you. So we know that you've been coming to Grenada for years, doing events around carnival time. But what I recently found out is that you're actually Grenadian. Yes, meaning that I had no clue. Remember, I'm a little different generation from Scratchmaster, even though he doesn't like to think so. Yeah. So for the listeners who are like me and a little younger, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Grenada. Went to Western Primary, then went to GBSS, then did National College. Ran for GBSS. We had a thing called One and Sugar Mill.
Yes.
So I used to run Sugar Mill back in the day.
Yep, Sugar Mill boy.
Nice. So you used to play in Sugar Mill and mash up the place.
Yeah, well, I mean, not just run the place.
Run. You see, when you say run the place, that can mean so many different things, eh?
Nah, man.
Yeah, go on, open up the door. Get the staff ready. Get all the children.
Oh, as in run the place. Manage the
management. Yes.
As in drop the staff home after, and then, all them things.
Right.
Okay, cool. Because I've been hearing about Sugar Mill for years.
You never.
So now I know it's you. You're the one responsible for that.
Well, I mean, my father is the one who built it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But we had a few businesses back then. We had a duty-free shop. We had retail and wholesale liquor, and then the club.
Right, tell me something, Bandit. Well, I know you're an avid promoter. You're a quiet guy, but you're very busy. Yeah, I didn't realize how busy until when I went to Toronto and got to understand. I mean, we know Bandit does a couple events here in Grenada, you know, around Carnival time and Christmas time. But, you know, strategically in Toronto, you know, you have events practically, you put out like a whole calendar of events, right? Now, with Toronto now, what was the latest there with regards to the restrictions in Toronto where you are?
Well, I mean, obviously there's a limit on where you go. You can't plan. I'm hearing a serious echo right now.
No, we are right on our end. You could continue speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a restriction on where you can go, everything locked down. You know, as a matter of fact, just before we went on lockdown, I had an event planned and set up to happen on March 25th. Sorry, no, March 27th, actually.
Right.
So, just everywhere else, you're on lockdown. You could only head out, get your groceries, or if you're an essential worker. Pretty much that's about it.
Okay.
Interesting, yeah.
Right. Well, with that being the case, right? What do you think? I mean, there's I know there's a lot of uncertainty as to when the next event could probably take place for yourself, and even also here in Grenada. But how is that affecting you now with the couple events that Spice Mass up to today at this minute is not cancelled, right? Like how, over the weekend we found out that Barbados, the crop over is postponed. Antigua canceled their carnival. How is that affecting your preparation for the couple events that you would have been having for 2020 here in Grenada?
Well, if you're gonna just speak about Grenada, obviously we have to see how things unfold. With the travel restrictions. There's many of us that want to travel to Grenada, and we don't really know how it's going to end up. And for us in Toronto, hold on, I can't lie, this echo thing is annoying the hell out of me. Let me see if I can get it gone.
Okay.
I know.
Are you hearing it? Are you still hearing it?
Yeah, he took off his headset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We are live with D Bandit. We definitely know it's a Grenadian promoter. He is a Grenadian promoter based in Toronto, Canada right now, doing so many events there for the Caribbean diaspora, as well as back home in Grenada. It's good to see that people move abroad, but still able to contribute to the economy back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's definitely something that is worth commending for sure. D Bandit, can you hear us now? Is it sounding a little better? All right, so I think you muted yourself. All right, we also have another special guest in the building. Let's say good morning to Boyzie, King Boyzie. What's going on?
Madras.
And they all the thing.
Madras, boy.
Madras, wake up, boy.
And they, boy. Yeah, boy. Bandit, talk on.
Boy, I just cool. How you saying?
Everything go on, you don't know the thing go.
Yes. Long time I ain't seen you, boy. I ain't seen you in a long time.
Well, you see them now.
The place on lockdown now.
Yeah, man. It's definitely good to have you, Boyzie. Now, as someone who is almost solely dependent on the entertainment industry, how are you surviving in this time?
Boy, I mean, it's tough for everybody, to be honest. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's why you had to put things in place for times like these. You understand? So
right.
You just had to do things to survive.
And when you say put things in place, because I know there's some people who are, really thinking about what they can do to avoid some sort of situation like this happening, and having it not be so bad on their financial situation. What type of things you would probably advise other entertainers to put in place?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If you didn't do it early up, it'll be kind of hard for you right now. But this is what investments is all about. You understand? You got to invest for hard and rainy times. You understand? Especially times like this, because remember, music doesn't have a pension. So when you make it, you're supposed to invest to flip it. You check?
That makes plenty of sense. How are you staying creative now with what's happening? And this is a question I ask every artist. Spice Mass is not postponed or canceled up to this point, right? And I have to say up to this point. But are we going to get any more? I know you have a couple tracks out now, but are you going to say hold back on what you would consider your big material for 2020?
Nah, man. Music you done. You just had to flip it still. You understand? Remember, you give the fans what they want. You don't know how long you're gonna last. I mean, even if it lasts a long time, you still have to do music. I mean, you have some people who doesn't have access to studios and stuff right now, but I have my own studio set up right here. So I just do my thing from home, and I can record and handle myself from home because I've been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bandit, do you find where you are, is the Canadian government recognizing entertainers like DJs and artists on your end?
When you say recognizing, what do you mean? Like
in terms of the stimulus packages that may be available, is the Canadian government even doing stimulus packages?
Is there any incentive for people in, say, the creative industry or even hotels with all the restriction of movement and lack of being able to work how you normally would? I know some governments have done it, like Jamaica came out with one recently, a serious one that dealt with the entertainment sector. Is there anything like that in Toronto?
It's just basically small business on a whole. So I mean, right now, I know for myself, we could, they have sort of like a loan package in place where they let's say they offer $40,000 and there's a forgiveness of, let's say, 10,000. So
Right.
that you have to pay back 30. So if you're like a registered company or registered business in any way, or a small business, you can apply for that to sort of help with relief. Is that kind of what you're talking about, or?
Yeah, that's along those lines. It's along those lines.
Yeah. So they have that. They have that for individuals. They have that for So let's say you are someone that works in the service industry, which is what entertainment would be. You can apply for some kind of. I feel it's like not really a loan, but for individuals they have sort of an unemployment
Grant
or insurance that you can sort of apply for. So they have that in place for businesses as well as for individuals. So they put that in place even up to, I think, 2 to 3 weeks ago. So they have that in place for now, for sure.
Okay, nice. Now let's talk about what we all love. I think among all of us here, we all love Carnival. We all want to see Carnival happen once it's safe for it to happen. Now, do you, especially as a promoter and an artist, do you happen to see Bandit perhaps first? Do you see it possible for Grenada to have Spice Mass if it is that we have no cases in the next few weeks?
Madras, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Bandit, you could
Well,
go
I
first.
can go first.
All right.
Anyone.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I think Boyzie's going.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they should have Spice Mass because it's just putting our people at risk. You understand? Because remember, you have so much people that is affected, and it's just gonna be crazy. Getting people in the country. Remember, you don't know how long this thing gonna last. You don't even know how long this thing lasts in your body. You understand? People dying from it. Like it's crazy to be honest.
But suppose the borders remain closed.
As a local carnival, yeah.
Suppose the borders remain closed, and within the next month, 2 months, there are no new cases of COVID-19 here in Grenada. Is that still going to be your stance on it? I could understand if the borders are probably open. You know, you open up yourself to, especially if there's no vaccination, which we probably not going to have before August in any case. Do you think that with the borders remaining closed, that it could still happen?
Yes, because remember, at the end of the day, not everybody in Grenada are going to be tested, right? We still don't know how many people get in contact with these people. You understand? So at the end of the day, we could only say, "Oh, we have it under control," this, that, and the other. But you never know because let me just say, like for me, I don't know if I got in contact with people, but I never get tested, so I could be here thinking, okay, I'm good, and then you never know. I had it, but remember, this thing doesn't really show symptoms so much. So what if I'm not really showing symptoms and I have it? Carnival come, boom, I exposed to tens of thousands of people. You understand? And then boom, I end up affecting the next tens of thousands of people. Grenada is not ready for that. We're not ready for that.
Interesting perspective. Bandit, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I'm glad Boyzie went first because, as you said, that's an interesting perspective. I for one, I feel like it should go on, especially locally. I feel like, you know, with the time that is between now and Carnival, there's so much that can happen. And, you know, with the very few cases that are happening in Grenada, I mean, you know, Grenada hasn't had, you know, I don't believe you guys have had any deaths or anything.
No, we haven't.
And for example, I assist with Toronto Carnival here. So I know one of the things that I was really upset with was the fact that they actually canceled Caravana so far in advance, right?
Right.
Now, from our perspective, what we were planning or what was in the works was something locally, in the sense that you want to sort of have it sort of like a festival of love, or it doesn't necessarily have to have the pretty mass, because in preparation for any carnival, obviously the pretty mass is what takes up most of the time, because you have to order, you know, the feathers, get designs, get band launches, etc. So you kind of, in my opinion, I felt like any carnivals, if you want to sort of cancel them, you would cancel the grand parades, so the parade of the bands, etc. But I feel like, you know, in time to come, there's so much part of the economy that is dependent on the circulation of money within the local economy, right? And I feel these things will assist or will do well to help with the economy down the road, to actually have a local carnival, in my opinion, obviously.
Right.
For Grenada, that is, August is 4 months from now.
Yes.
And if we don't have any new cases, they've done the necessary diligence with contact tracing as well. We can't forget that.
Yes.
I kind of leaning on what Bandit is saying.
I actually love both perspectives. I love the fact that both of you actually have two different opinions on it, because I think they're actually both very valid. So again, we don't know until the time comes. That's also a thing. Because what happens if we test, they're doing the immunity test right now, and they do a sample of the population and we're all good, everybody tests negative. We still have 4 months until Carnival?
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months.
Carnival is not next week, It's 4 months.
Yeah, so I think that both of you really have valid points. And we really have to wait to see what the Spice Mass Corporation decides. They did put out a release last week saying that they are doing assessments right now, and they will let people know once there's an official announcement.
Yeah, and to make sure that you listen to them for the word and not John Public, because everybody has an opinion, and some people feel this and that and the other, right? It happens here already.
I think one of the things that you could kind of be hopeful for is that if they actually do have a carnival and it's not very much pretty mass, it will be a very wicked job.
Fact.
Yo,
that is true.
Listen,
That is
Juve morning.
Yeah, and we've seen so many events be canceled already. Like festivals we were planning to have now and in the next few months, they have been canceled. So for the events that both of you have, because both of you do events throughout the year, what are you planning? How do you plan to move forward after all of this? Do you plan to have events later on in the year, or you're just going to wait until 2021? Boyzie, props, you can go first. Boyzie?
Maybe anything like it. Maybe I'll go first.
Go first.
So I know for myself, I have approximately, I want to say, between 15 to 20 events a year, right?
I'm busy.
Wow. Casually. There's not even 15 months in the year.
I just have like 15 to 20 events a year.
Casual.
Well, I ain't trying to be bossy, but anyways,
we know
this. What I was kind of getting to is, for example, going back to what I was saying with March. So March, I had an event. It was Aftershock. It was supposed to happen. I had to cancel it. I took some time to sort of figure out what it is I wanted to do to cancel that event. And in taking time, I also decided, okay, what can I do so that later on in the summer, once things start to sort of settle down, how can I continue to get people back into the mood? How can I be a twig in the bonfire of the economy, right? And when I say a twig in the bonfire of the economy, meaning, there's going to be some time between now and when people get back to what it was like back in February. So in other words, people are going to not necessarily want to go out right away, but you want to sort of build up to a point where, okay, hey, we feel back to normal, right? So part of that is, in the summer, I have numerous events that I would have done. So with the cancellation of the event that was happening in March, I put that credit towards something that can happen in the summer.
Okay, right? As a promoter, right? I got you.
Right, along with additional promotion, additional bonuses that if you want to kind of keep your money in, you could kind of use that towards something, sort of like a gift card, right?
Like what the AL is doing.
Right.
But now, not everyone is hopeful with that. Not everyone is. So there's some people who are afraid. Some people who don't necessarily want to go out for the next 6 months as far as they're concerned. There's some people who are saying, you know what, hey, I want to get out now. I've been cooped up in my house for 4 weeks. I'm ready to get out right now. So I feel like it's like a 50-50 situation. And based on that, like I had about 50% refunds and some people that kept it in. Some people that interested and some people not. So to go back to what you were asking about whether or not you're going to be planning for the summer and what you're going to be planning for from now until then, you kind of trying to predict, but you don't necessarily have the answers. Like with any business, you're hopeful that it's going to get back to normal and things are going to continue.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily know. So you could only hope for the best. You could try to plan. I mean, I already have deposits on venues for the next 3 months. Right. I have deposits. I have deposits out to artists, for example, and they said, okay, well, we'll see how it's going to go. So Ding Dong has a deposit for me. This one have a deposit. Like, there's so many things that are happening. So there's funds out there that we're still trying to plan to hope get people back to the frame of mind that, okay, we're good. We can continue.
I have a question for Boyzie. Now, we just heard your stance with regards to, you think that, I know you have your concerns about Carnival happening, right? No, on a little lighter note, suppose the Spice Mass would have come out and say a couple months from now or weeks from now that we are going to have Spice Mass for 2020 and there's going to be a Soca Monarch competition. Will you defend? I'm just asking for a friend right now. I just asking for a friend. Will you defend?
No.
No?
You wouldn't?
No.
Is it because of the situation, or you've already decided prior to this that you will no longer compete?
Nah, prior to this.
Tell us about that.
I'll be honest with you, right? I'll be totally honest with you. I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
Yeah, we listening.
We appreciate it.
We the people are listening.
Yeah.
All right. I think for we as artists, the money is one of the biggest problem for we as artists. Because we put out so much, you understand, as artists. But I can only talk for myself because I don't know how other artists really or other really take they take on it. If I put out.
All right, this is an interesting time for that to happen.
I know. I wish we were.
I thought it was me.
But we're hearing why Boyzie will not defend. All of a sudden, there's some technical difficulties there.
Anyway, we gotta kind of wrap up now.
Yeah, we definitely have to. The hit list is coming up. Boyzie, D Bandit, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. You have people going back and forth in the comments on Facebook, so I know the conversation will continue there. For those of you listening online, you can log onto our Facebook page to join the conversation. Thank you so much, Bandit.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm kind of honored to be on your station because I be listening every morning. So,
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you with us, of course. And of course, we have the hit list coming up. I see Boyzie. Boyzie, we're wrapping up now, but thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I don't know why you keep coming back. You have time, innit?
Yeah, just about 10 seconds. So tell me.
All right, but the money is one of the biggest problems for us as artists right now because I'll be honest. So after Soca Monarch done, even if you want to make an investment, you can't go to the bank and say, "Here we go now." You know, I won Soca Monarch last year. I won 45,000. I won 50,000. And I look into do this. I look into do that. Right. Pyros alone, you understand? Fireworks and all this craziness is 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a bus. You understand? You had to pay for your presentation. You had to pay to bill it. You understand? You had to pay all your props. You pay your dancers. You pay this. You pay that. When you pay back yourself, you had to pay studio man scratch. You had to pay to mix and master. So after you do all this, where you get the money from?
Yeah. Anyway. So it really isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
Right.
So Soca Monarch should be at least $100,000. Who vex lost? Because you can bring the Soca Monarch price to $150. People pay $200, $250 to go in other shows normal. Soca Monarch, where you get two competitions on one night. You get Groovy, you get Power on one night.
Right.
Some of the biggest artists you need to have. Come on.
Do you think they should raise the admission and also the price?
Yeah.
Because I just want to make one more comment before I leave, right?
Yeah, quickly.
You remember you break down the competition to 10. It was 15. So right, 15 or 16. So right there you get $60,000.
Right.
that you've cut out from. You could have add that to the first, second, third, fourth prizes and give the others. And even if you don't want to do that, add other incentives to it though.
Right.
Boyzie,
Good point.
thank you.
Yeah, man. We definitely have to continue this conversation. That was Boyzie as well as D Bandit on the morning trend. Came to you compliments Rick's Cafe Walk In Dance Out. Thank you so much, fellas.
Thank you.
All
All right.
Thank you.
And
All
of